Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And get ready to release some tightness in the body and the mind.
In case this is your first time, my name's Lee. I'm the calm, collected one. And this is my devotee and servant. And she will do my bidding today. Please leave us, please let us know what the volume is like. We're experimenting a bit with a different mic. And if, you know what we love? We love to see those things going up the screen, and we love to hear from you. I mean, for example, Grant from Nerang, hello Grant, said he's incorporating our movements into his Kung Fu class. So that was interesting. That'd be good to see. Send us a video.
So wherever you are, we love to hear from you. And thank you for joining in. I know a lot of you have been joining in most days, and we are just delighted that we can share what we've been doing for, well, quite a few years now.
Quite a few decades.
About 30 odd years.
So while you're sitting here listening to us talk, why don't you circle a little bit so we can sort of, that's a bit hypnotizing, isn't it? Like a cobra. So breathing easily, and do you remember I spoke about the importance of Ujjayi Pranayama, or the breath in the throat, where you constrict your throat just enough to be able to hear the sound. Oh, I'm going dizzy now. And those of you who are yoga teachers, you might remember I always said don't do the breathing that you're telling your students to do, because you'll go blank and you won't know what's next. So I'll try and talk about the breath without doing it. So Ujjayi is like a catch in the back of the throat. It sounds like this. Like a snoring breath, or a snoring breath, or oceanic breathing.
Sound of a shell.
And if you can't do it like that, a second great one is to breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth as if you're fogging a mirror with your breath. So like,
so basically a gentle constriction of the back of the throat.
It's sort of Ujjayi, but cheating a bit. So should we, you know what we did yesterday? We'll just revise a little bit. We're working with the fingers.
So we're rotating wrists.
Working with those joints.
One way and back the other way.
Hey, how about doing that at the same time as going round and round? And then rolling the head at the same time. Yeah, no, don't do that.
Really calm today.
I got bitten out on the kayak yesterday. So carry on. It's just distracting me from what we should be doing. While we're here, why don't we do one of those breathing out, slouching through your spine and going to wherever you can hold. Inhaling, hands behind. Lifting the sternum. Remembering that Ujjayi breathing. Go to where it's comfortable for you, not going too far, because if you go too far, then you're going to be sorry. Later, you're going to have to get lots more magnesium oil. So we don't want that at all. We want you to be out of pain the whole time and only going to where you feel fine. Okay. We could do this thing side to side. I'm just making this up in case you haven't gathered this morning. But I do want to do some variations on the theme of the basic stuff we've been working on thus far. So what do you think? You do that or I do that? I think they've had enough of you.
Okay.
I think I should be in the screen.
Okay, so you want to lie down on your back is what you're saying. Okay. Take a full rest on your back.
Okay. Oh, yes, I'm going to use a pillow behind my head because I find that's...
Can you slide, pardon me, your legs long?
Go and get a drink of water, woman.
And have your feet a little bit closer together. And just notice what your contact is like with the floor.
Well, hang on, I'm still moving. I'm still getting comfy.
And you can see what I mean.
Still getting balanced. My left buttock feels like it's flatter than my right buttock. Why is that, doctor?
So that's a good idea to check in and actually notice how your body is. Where does your body contact the floor if you're lying down?
Well, my buttocks, mate. I'm a bit obsessed with buttocks
And
today.
feel the contact that the back of your head has with the floor.
It doesn't.
The weight of the head on the floor
You're
or
not
the
touching
pillow.
the floor.
Whatever your head is resting on. And then you could begin to roll your head side to side.
And then pausing on each side and feeling the stretch through the sternocleidomastoid. What, you don't want me to talk at the same time?
Go ahead.
No, fine.
I'll go
fine.
and have a cup of tea.
No, I'll just shut up.
And then bring your head back to centre and take your awareness all the way down to your heels.
Okay.
Bring your heels closer together. And can you, in some way, slide one heel? Oh, you want to point first?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's just do 1 foot at a time. Can you point the toes down?
So interesting, because if you don't move your heel, and I didn't know this before, it does the same thing through the pelvis that we're going to do next. Did you know that?
If you what, sorry?
If you're pointing one toe and then the other toe, and you don't move the heels, you're getting the same thing that you feel through the stretch through the side of the pelvis.
Right. Getting that same release of
Yeah.
pointing one toe.
And my head's going sort of by itself in the
Opposite.
opposite direction. So that's
Yeah.
interesting.
See what your head feels like it wants to do.
Well, that's quite nice. Breathing in through the centre and breathing out to the side. What
And
about
then you could emphasise by pointing 1 foot and then drawing the other toes towards the body.
Ow, ow, ow.
You didn't get a cramp, did you?
No, I've used lots of magnesium. I couldn't possibly get a cramp. I did. But pointing those toes, we could point both toes back and then point them away.
Both together.
Yeah, and then you don't get the release through the hips and pelvis, but you do get fantastic stretch to the back of the calves and up into the back of the knee.
So can you slide your feet up into semi-supine? That is,
And watch how I do it. Just watch. Just
dragging that knee up to the side.
and I'm rolling my head to sort of look that way, and
Right.
that happens quite naturally.
And adjust your pelvis as you need to.
Yeah.
And float both hands up towards the ceiling.
Ooh.
And just as we did with the feet, can you reach one arm up towards the ceiling and then let that down?
You know, when we move unconsciously, I know my hands look stupid like this, and it looks like I'm a hairdresser. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But if you relax, this is how your hands actually are. So we're taking one up, coming back down, and then swapping. But you could do it like this. Now I'm noticing that when I'm lifting my left arm up, I'm pressing my left foot down into the floor. And when my right arm's going up, my right foot is helping my pelvis, my right buttock lift off the floor.
You can either leave your arms here, or if you have no shoulder injury or tightness, Come back to centre and take your arms up above your head. Bend the elbows.
Hang on. Just notice that my head's looking the opposite way, but sometimes it wants to go the same way. Depends on the angle of the head. So you said take the arms up onto the floor above my head.
Bending the elbows to take any pressure off the shoulders.
No, mine's
And
fine.
I think you're going to be better off without the pillow here.
Can I put it under my butt?
You can try that because we're going to be taking the legs long in a minute. So bend the elbows. And again, this reaching up with one arm behind you.
Hang on, just need to adjust my clothing.
Just take the pillow out of the way.
Okay, so reaching up with one, reaching up with the other.
And your head, it may tend to look the opposite way so that you can enhance that stretch with the opposite arm. And then pause in centre.
Am I breathing or holding my breath?
Hopefully you are breathing. Can you pause in centre? And then come back down to your feet.
What do you mean come back down to my feet?
So leave your arms above your head, rest your head in centre, and become aware once again of your feet. And can you slide one heel away from you so you actually make one leg appear longer? And then swap. And you are automatically beginning to involve the arms. So as one heel slides away, you are sliding that arm away at the same time. Are you doing the same side or the opposite side? What
I'm doing whatever feels natural
feels
for
natural
me.
for you?
And for me, it's easier to focus on moving my arms because my heels move naturally. But if I move my heels, I have to sort of think about moving my arms a little bit. Does that make sense?
It does.
So by focusing on the movement of the backs of my hands against the floor, my heels move by themselves. And I get that complete, oh my God.
This can be so nice to do when you
I'm not
wake up
showing
in the
anything, am I?
morning. So bring your arms back down. Slide your feet back into this semi-supine. Throwing that knee up.
Oops.
Out to the side and up. Now draw your knees into the chest,
Hang on,
please.
my thoracic spine is feeling like it's pushing down more strongly.
So do you need to release the neck bone?
Yeah, how would you suggest I do that, darling?
So have your hands interlaced behind your head, and why don't you interlace in the non-habitual way? So the way that so have a look at whatever thumb is on top and swap over and do the opposite thumb.
Okay.
And now place the hands behind the head.
Yeah, that feels too weird.
It does feel a bit weird. It feels a bit strange. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, use the hands to lift the head. Might only be a little way at first. And inhale, come back down. So as you breathe out, tuck the chin in. You can even press the lower back into the floor. And then inhale, let it all
Why I'm not ready yet.
come back down. This is not just for you.
All right.
This is for everybody.
Normal pace of the mind.
And then draw one knee in towards the elbows as you lift the head. Draw that one knee in. You could keep the knee bent to start with. And
I
then
am.
swap sides. Nice. Alternating sides. And as you exhale up as fully as possible. Breathing out, inhale and come back down.
Or you dive.
Ujjayi, that tightening, constriction at the back of the throat. And you're beginning to take this into a twist. Wonderful. By taking the opposite elbow to the knee now. So we're twisting through the midline of the body. any twist, any type of twisting helps to relieve through the
Adrenals.
not only the adrenals, but what is the word now? Through the whole nervous system.
Yeah.
That's why I love twists, even knees side to side.
All twists relax the body through the parasympathetic nervous system.
That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's the morning person. So can you leave your feet on the floor? Leave your feet on the floor. Leave your hands behind the back of your head. And take the elbow towards the opposite knee, but leave the feet on the floor. You might want to have your feet a little bit wider apart here. That's it.
That's quite hard.
It really brings that twist a little bit further. And we're using the breath to assimilate and integrate this release.
This works on obviously on the abdominal and the core musculature.
One more on each side.
Really?
One more.
Come on.
You can do it. Use your feet, plant the feet, the toes, the heels into the floor. Last one.
Okay.
Come back down. Draw the knees in above the chest. Wrap your arms around. And have a roll from side to side.
No.
You could even have the knees wide. Or the knees together on the side. Wide through centre. You may even roll onto your side. Nice.
Can we go back to what we just did? But we've already done the next one of that, haven't we? Okay. Oh.
So I think a little more strenuous.
Up dog, down dog.
Let's do some releases there first of all. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah, not up dog, down dog.
Before
Something I'd like to do.
we swap
What about working
some
with
resistance?
the adductors and adductors?
Sure. So place your hand, have the knees wide, hands on the inside, and this is really, there's a tendency to
Can I have
hold
the pillow
breath
back?
here. So can you breathe at the same time as drawing the knees towards one another in centre, but resisting with your hands. Breathe in, and now hands on the outside of the knees. Press the knees out and resist with the hands. Slow down, go slow.
It's really difficult to breathe and
It is.
resist at the same time.
It's a challenge. There we are.
Everything's shaking. I think
So you don't need to use 100% of the strength. You could use 40%.
I'm a man. I'm gonna just do whatever I can do. Okay. What about while we're here, we should do at least a beginning.
That's a really good idea before we move on to something a little more strenuous.
And you don't have to straighten the legs to begin. You can just
So semi-straightening that leg and using the hand behind the thigh to assist with the semi-straightening.
and I'm pulling a bit here,
So actually pulling on the back of the hamstring.
almost lifting the buttock up. One buttock up, two buttock-ups.
And if you do not have a pillow behind the back of your head, you could even tuck the chin in and lift the head forward as you do that.
Oh, that's better.
And take a rest. Arms long, legs long. Breathing in all the way down into your belly so the belly rises.
I can't, I'm too out of breath from doing that.
So let it come. And breathing out, belly falls. Doesn't have to be pronounced. Just sending the breath all the way down into the abdomen. So the abdomen expands not just forwards but out to the sides as well. can be quite subtle. And as you breathe out, your belly simply falls, relaxes. Aware of the body's contact with the floor as you breathe in such a way. Whole body melting into the floor.
So I don't feel like going into meditation. What are you doing?
So when you're ready, roll onto your side. Coming back up into sitting.
This is quite nice. Are we going to do down dog?
Yes.
'Cause I think.
Yes. So
don't
we'll
feel
swap.
don't feel like you have to do this. This is getting ready for down dog. It's not actually down dog. So I'm gonna get. I think it's time for you to do something. So would you come back onto the mat, please?
Sure. So we'll start by kneeling.
Oh, you want me to guide?
Yes, please.
So as you breathe in using Ujjayi Pranayama, breath in your throat, as you breathe in, bring the sternum forward to arch the back, and as you breathe out, slouch the back. Get a sense of that. Shoulders back, lovely boy. And
So you can do this kneeling or sitting actually.
yeah. So we're basically rounding the spine as far as it will go as you breathe out, and recovering the spine, extending the spine as you inhale. Keeping the fingers wide apart. And then I think come into, in your own sweet time, come into all fours. And I would have the toe. Do you want to do cat-cow here? I don't think there's any need, but you could do one or two. But
with the toes tucked under even.
Yeah, but I would say your hands need to come forward in each. Because we want everything. And no, I think your hands need to come forward further. No, further. Because your butt
not
is
really under my.
But your butt is still, that's it. Because
Okay.
we want everything at right angles. So
we're getting the wrists under the shoulders and the knees under the hips.
Fingers spread wide, and this time the toes tucked under. And in your own time, you're going to see if you can lift the knees off the floor.
So really make sure those toes are tucked in.
Yeah.
To lift the knees and keep the knees really bent for now.
Yeah, we're going to leave the knees bent today because we're going to focus on getting the chest forward and a straight line from the fingers all the way down the spine. So you're pressing, that's it. Now, see, you're not using your fingers. So I want you to press those fingers down. You should be able to feel there's almost more in the fingers than anywhere else. Are you holding your breath, or you've got your chin tucked in? Should be looking at your own thighs. And you could semi-straighten one leg at a time, but keep that straightness, that slight straightness in the spine, and make sure that you're breathing the whole of the time. Your chin's tucked in, and if you're not breathing, you need to come down and come back when you're ready.
I think come back down anyway and take a rest, because to release the wrists.
So drop the hips back onto the heels and rotate the wrists to get a feel of your fingers there. Then arms straight out in front if you can, and if not, just make yourself comfortable there. Maybe your fists under your head. But go back to arms long in front of you, Uma, please, because I want you to see if you can press your knees into the floor one at a time and sort of rock and roll across.
You need to have the knees a bit wider apart to really get a little bit more rock and sway.
That's a good idea. knees quite wide apart, and you're rolling the hips from side to side, breathing, bringing attention back to the breath the whole time. So do you want to do that one more time, or do you think that's enough?
One more time.
Okay, so you can rest or you can join in. We're keeping the knees bent. Remember, we're not trying to get the heels down today, because we're going to come back to that, and we're going to... Now you need to take the weight of your body onto your fingers. I know that sounds weird, but not onto the fingers, but the fingers should be pressing down really firmly into the mat. And you're bending one knee, you're breathing, your chin is tucked in as far as you'll go, and you're trying to get that straight line from the wrists all the way up through the arms into the spine. So you're pressing your buttocks towards the ceiling, feeling that stretch opening up through the chest, and then coming back down to rest in whatever way feels most appropriate for you today, for your body today. And then maybe rocking a little or not, up to you. And do we want to just come briefly into Sphinx or crocodile position?
Sure, just to release.
Yeah. So elbows directly under the shoulders, hands spread wide. And just rolling the hips from side to side, remembering that Ujjayi breathing.
And you can press the opposite hip into the floor here.
Yeah. And then pressing all the way back through to child position again.
So hands into press up position under the shoulders. Lift up through cobra.
Fingers down, fingers down. And get yourself comfortable here. Make whatever adjustments you need to make. And then get ready for meditation.
I'll let you start the meditation. I'll join you in 2 minutes.
So,
Come and take a seat.
oh. Well, I'm going to use one of my old ones. Where's my cushion, by the way? I'm sure I had it out there. So, get comfortable. That's the most important thing. Make sure that you can breathe easily. Your spine is straightish, self-supporting if possible, but otherwise you could be laying down. Where's your cushion?
I think you might be sitting on it.
Where's my cushion? Did you put it away?
No, it's wet. Left out in the rain.
Oh. Why didn't you put it away? So we're breathing, we're coming back to this Ujjayi, this This reminds me of my dad when I'd done something wrong. This is how he used to breathe.
This breath also stimulates the parathyroids that distribute calcium around the body. So it's useful on so many levels, and it provides quite a deep relaxation you will find after a while.
Let's swap. Let's go to the sort of half Ujjayi where you breathe in through your nose and you breathe out, and it's as if you're breathing out, fogging a mirror with your breath. You know that? Do it again. Did you hear that whistle? What was that? So stay with that for a moment, please. And then bring your focus of attention to your feet. You're breathing, and at the same time you're aware of the soles of your feet. Noticing your feet as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Soles of the feet breathing in, soles of the feet breathing out. And just imagine that as you breathe in, you could actually breathe in through the soles of your feet. And you draw the breath up through both feet, both legs, and then back down again. Breathing in through the soles of the feet, breathing out, back down from the knees to the feet, as if you had nostrils, one on each sole of the feet. Breathing up to the knees, and breathing out, back down, just using your mind. And what would you need to do to breathe in through the soles of the feet and to draw the breath up the legs, all the way into the pelvis? And as you breathe out from the pelvis, back down through the legs to the sole of the feet. From the soles of the feet, breathing in, taking the breath all the way up to the navel, just above the pelvis. A single point, hold, and breathing out all the way, back down the legs and out the soles of your feet. Breathing in, soles of the feet to the navel. Breathing out, navel, back down to the soles of your feet. And using this same metaphor, imagine yourself lying down at the beach near the water. Not many waves today, just calm blue skies. Your feet in the water, and as you breathe in through the soles of your feet, imagine you could draw in the cool, clear water into the legs, into the thighs.